Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros.
Well, Kurt Angle did an interview with WrestleZone, and they asked him about Baron Corbin being released from WWE. And he said, Baron, I think he's underrated. I think it kind of sucks. They started utilizing him the way they should have. They had him beat me, which I was okay with. It was my last match, and obviously you're going to lose your last match when you retire. Baron, after that, he ended up winning King of the Ring, and then nothing else happened with him. It's a little disappointing to know that he beat a legend at WrestleMania in the Legend's last match, and they didn't really do much with him after that. For me, it makes me feel like I did that for nothing. Corbin replied and said, to be fair, that's one of the reasons I wish I had become world champ. It would have paid honor to what Kurt did for me. I will forever appreciate it, and I wish I could have done more to make it worth it for him.
Yeah. I just want to throw in there before Al goes too, because I want to throw this in there too. Bro, they do that with like Cena all the time. Cena lost to Austin Theory, bro, and Austin Theory went on to become a tag team wrestler after he beat John Cena. So they've done this more than once. Go ahead, Al.
It's not they, though. It is. How can I explain this? It is they, okay? It is WWE creative, but it does come down a lot of times, and you know this as well as I do, Vince. It does come down to the follow through by the talent themselves. It's their understanding, the talent's understanding of what was just done for them from who it was done, and then they've got to step up their game. They have to behave. They have to wrestle like, carry themselves like they are now on a different level. And when they don't, what can you do with them? Seriously. And you being a writer, because look, I do it. I deal with it every week still. You do too. Tell me you can do stuff without the talent giving you stuff to do with. Tell me that you can book a talent to work in a world title match when they don't themselves make themselves look like they're world championship material.
Al, first of all, if I'm gonna give a wrestler that honor, obviously I think very, very, very highly of that wrestler, and that is a huge stepping stone, a huge victory. And obviously, the plan is to do something special with them. Yeah. From that point going forward, if I'm booking them as just another name on the roster, there's Glenn, you and I don't disagree with this. Me and you don't disagree. But here's what I'm telling you. There's only so much they can do. There's only so much they could do. The creative has to play their part. There's only Al. Let me throw it to you. You're an actor. We saw the footage. Okay, Al. Here's what I always equate it to. Okay, Robert De Niro, one of the greatest actors of all time. You know, Cape Fear. You know, The Godfather. I mean, Deer Hunter. The list, Raging Bull. The list goes on and on and on. Bro, Robert De Niro was also in Rocky and Bullwinkle. And it sucked, bro. It sucked. The movie sucked. The material sucked. Robert De Niro did not save Rocky and Bullwinkle. The movie sucked. This is the absolute equivalent of that.
I used to have a Russian friend that always tried to get him to say, I must get moose and squirrel. Just because I thought it was fun.
I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. But there's a trade-off. You're absolutely 100% correct. The material you give the person, but it is up to the person. Still, at the end of the day, you were a talent. You weren't very talented, but you were a talent.
Former WCW world champion. One I can say about you. Go ahead, Al.
In order to book somebody in a world title match, that talent has to portray the potential possibility and teach the audience. This is the difference a lot of people don't understand with wrestling, is that you teach an audience to like or dislike, believe or disbelieve, anything you want. It's up to the talent that they have to portray that they could be the next world heavyweight champion 6 months prior to you ever thinking, oh, you know what? We could book this guy to work as a world heavyweight champion. The talent have to do that. And they have to understand how to do that. And they cannot go out there and expect that they're going to work on this level while they are portraying themselves in the match on this level. They can't. It's not, and no matter what you do, as far as writing and giving them circumstances and giving them ways to appear that way, the second they walk to the ring and that bell rings, what you did ain't going to match. Like, there's a very, and you'll know who I'm talking about, very talented guy. Really could have made it to the next level and beyond. Problem was, did a great job of selling you who he was in in-ring promos. Awesome. Could just rattle it off. You got it. You believed it. Backstage vignettes. Sold who he was. Sold it. You knew who he was. You believed in this guy. Any type of things you had, put him in. Sell it. Bell would ring. He'd wrestle like he was not that guy. Not even close. And a great example of that is, let's face facts. Steve Austin wrestled like a beer-drinking, ass-kicking redneck would wrestle. Did he not?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the issue. You can write and you can put them in things and sell them as XYZ, but when they bell rings and they're no longer that perception, they're no longer wrestling like they're XYZ, there's a disconnect. And you can't draw money with that person. I'm not saying anything negative against Baron Corbin. I don't know anything about him, so I'm not burying him.
With that being said, you would have had to seen Baron Corbin wrestle prior, and that's why you put him in the spot.
Correct.
Okay.
He Baron Corbin needs to realize he was in that spot and now wrestle different than he ever wrestled before. He now has to carry himself different. He now needs to, when he's in the ring, he's got to go, look, I just beat Kurt Angle. You know what that means? I'm wrestling you, Vince. And you know what that means, Vince? Normally we do this about 50-50, maybe 60-40. No, we're doing this 80-20. Do you understand? I'm taking 80% of this match. You're taking 20% of this match. You know why? I just beat Kurt Angle. I'm sorry. We're not on the same level anymore, bro. We're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good. But they don't. They don't understand that. It's not taught to them.
Fair enough.
They don't get it. So now when Baron Corbin beats Kurt Angle, he goes out and he wrestles the next guy as if he and the next guy are still like this, when he should be like this.
Yeah, fair enough.
Here's the problem. They, meaning the booker, the writers don't get it because they don't know, because they've never done it. I don't care what you say, they haven't. So they don't understand that aspect of the business. It's never verbally communicated, hey, Baron, I just put you over Kurt Angle. You need to keep wrestling like you beat Kurt Angle. And if you start wrestling these other guys that are less than Kurt Angle, like they're on your level, it brings you down. The downside is that has never, even when I first broke into business, it was never verbally communicated. It was something you had to learn. You had to develop that and learn that understanding. You have to, we put it in ways now of, oh, you got to be selfish. And you do. You have to know when a match is for you, when it's your commercial, when it's your opportunity to sell yourself. They all have this mindset. All of them have this mindset of one, like you do. And that is, oh, it's the writer's business. Oh, the writers make me. The writers do this for me. No, they don't. They don't do shit. You do it, and then the writers get inspired. And you know that's a fact, Vince, that a talent will give you inspiration to do things that you otherwise may have never have done with that talent, because they went out and they did something in that ring that gave you inspiration to go, hey, if we have him work with this guy, we could tell this story and maybe we could do a little bit of business. This is the downfall of this business, this ridiculous idea and concept, just like Baron Corbin. What did you do to now take what they gave you and then operate in a fashion that you're now on a different level? You thought you were still on the same level, and you worked with all of the talent going forward as if they were on your level when they weren't, because none of them had beat Kurt Angle. They couldn't book you as the next world heavyweight champion because you didn't work like it. And I'm not saying that as a insult to Baron Corbin. That's just his not understanding or his naivety about what it was he was required then to do. He had a responsibility that he didn't adhere to, which is, oh shit, Kurt Angle did the favor for me. Kurt Angle put me over. Kurt Angle put me on a different level. I need to wrestle like I just beat Kurt Angle. He didn't do that.